Fortune and Strife features subjects which can be uncomfortable for a general audience, such as the use of drugs and alcohol, poor treatment of people of different classes or cultures, adult situations, psychological trauma, deprivation, survival, natural disasters, and violence. Listener discretion advised. In addition, these next few episodes of the show contain cultural and historical content based upon the peoples of Asia and the Far East. We are coming at this from a place of respect and genuine interest and a love of these cultures, places, and history. We may not get it 100% right all the time, and we ask you to bear with us and give us the benefit of the doubt, and we would let us know when we get it wrong. We want to be an ally in dispelling Orientalism that has affected the Asian and Middle Eastern communities around the world. Welcome to Fortune and Strife. I am Robert, or Bayoshi Shinichi, and I'll be your host and narrator.
I am Chini, and I am playing Doji Gen.
I am Tyler, and I am playing Akoto Ricci. Let's play some L5R in the Burning Sands.
And with a graceful single stroke, Gen's blade lashes out and takes Ishmael's head. It falls stupidly, glancing off into the distance. What used to have intensity and ferocity and bloodlust in his eyes now empty. His body slumps down into the street, and a few moments later, shouts and cries and screams erupt from everywhere around you, even more so than what the clash already brought. The people already know what'll happen with his death. Just a few moments later, that the rest of you dispatch and send off the cut purses, the enforcers, and the novice assassins he brought with him. Exhausted and panting, you finally have a few moments to yourselves to collect your thoughts and yourselves. You're all alive still, but things have changed.
And Ricci will immediately go into medic mode and start looking around and being like, is everyone okay? Gen, how you looking? Hayate?
I'm gonna live. I took a bit of a beating from those thugs, but I should be all right. Nothing I haven't withstood from days in the depths of the Kitsune Mori training with my brothers and sisters.
Gen is on her knees, and after her big blow, and she lifts her head up, and she is not looking so good. She looks to Ricci and says, "Did that really happen?"
I'm afraid so. Are you currently bleeding?
I am not bleeding, but I am poisoned.
Okay. Yeah, I'm afraid I'm the same way. And I'll look up onto the rooftop and just kind of do a general call out and be like, Sueno, you doing okay?
I'm fine, although this is not a good place for us to be.
I agree.
She's kind of like scouting around with her eye and just trying to check any of the streets and alleys for any type of movement.
Let us know if anyone else comes up. And I'll lean down, or I'll take a knee right next to Nadim and check on his condition.
The other guards there are checking on him as well, and you look him over and you clear his mouth, and he's at least no longer frothing at the mouth and as bad as he was when he was going into shock there. Why don't you go ahead and make me a TN2 Earth medicine check?
Alrighty. So I have my Earth of 3 and my Medicine of 4. We'll take the 2 successes, the 1 opportunity, and the strife.
How do you want to spend your opportunity?
The opportunity is I would like to... Actually, I want to... Even though he's moderately unconscious, I definitely want to give a little bit of a strife reduction down to Nadim.
Okay.
Get a little bit of the bedside manner here.
Got it. So this will remove unconscious, which will also trigger your school ability. And so he'll recover 4, is it fatigue or strife?
It's 4 fatigue.
So he'll recover 4 fatigue and then 2 strife off of the opportunity expenditure. Excellent. So, with a invigorating tincture placed under his tongue to kind of jolt him awake, Nadim Aid comes around, the old grizzled gate guard who has shared the teachings of the nameless prophet with Gen, and who, while coming to collect you for the Emir, never thought that this would be the situation that he found himself in. And he looks around and sees the aftermath of what has happened here. Just he goes to speak, and one of his underlings stops him and is like, "No, no, it's all right. We should all get back to the palace grounds, to the Emir. He'll know what to do." And just a very hoarse no kind of comes pouring out of Nadim's, cracked, dry throat here.
Gen pulls herself up and retrieves her iron sheath for her sword and wipes her sword off on basically on the body of the on the part of the body of bronze serpent, because that's what there is right now. Before she sheaths it, it needs more care, and she kind of staggers over to Nadim and gathers herself for a moment before she says, "I fear we must decline your invitation."
Nadim speaks after taking another steady breath and swallow to try to clear his throat. Hmm, you can't go back.
I'm afraid not. We can't stay here either.
Again, like she's kind of limping, and she goes back to the door of the residence that we were staying in, or the place where we had tea with the unicorn. And on the ground, where it had been dropped, was the gift she had gotten for this specific gate guard, which was the book of adventure stories. She walks over and gives a small bow to the gate guard and presents it again, saying, "I meant what I said. This was for you. You gave a gift of a book that helped me learn your tongue, and that has helped us all very much. I wished to repay my debt. I fear this will be the only opportunity."
This is a good way for us to part. An exchange of words and letters. I'll do what I can to hold up the others.
Thank you.
Soon, I will have to be ordered to pursue you as well. But between this and the gift of my life, I'll give you some time.
We have 2 other gifts if you could convey them for us. And I look over to Ricci to make sure that this is okay.
I'll look at you and just be like, "Really? Is this what we're doing?" But give that slow nod of like, "Yeah, go ahead."
I pull out from my basically my bag, because I've also got that the gift of spices that we have prepared for Rafi. I say, "This is for those who have taken care of us in the Emir's house, with gratitude for the care that they have seen to us and our odd ways."
And yeah, he takes it, and he kind of has the same look at that Ricci does. That it is an odd time and an odd custom for you want to take part in this, but at the same time realizing that for you this means quite a bit to pay back the hospitality.
I'm not going to leave with debts. And finally, I pull out from my pocket where I've been not my pocket, my sleeve, where I've been keeping it very safe. Um, and it's already wrapped in a piece of silk, a small bundle, because it is a pearl bud. And this is for the emir, with gratitude for saving us in the desert. Perhaps things might have turned out differently under different circumstances, but no matter what comes in the future, we are grateful for our lives.
As am I. I might be an old man, but I was not quite ready to reach the afterlife just yet. To see what comes beyond and to know what mysteries might still be out there. I will make sure that they get their gifts. Now go. We'll tend to Farah's body, and like I said, we will hold the others and try to get them to pay their respects and to help us show some dignity to his body, and that should hopefully buy you some additional time. But more people should be coming soon.
Thank you.
The whole of the city's going to know about this.
And as for you, and I'll reach down into my medicine bag and pull out a couple of herbs, and I will press them into his hand, and I'll say, when you get back to the palace, drink some water and eat these. You're not going to have a pleasant day tomorrow, but it will keep you alive.
Mm.
All right, I think that's time. We need to head out now.
With that, he and the other guards head over to Alfara. Sueno vaults the low lip of the roof and makes her way back down to street level. And
Retrieves her knives.
right, her knives, a couple of shuriken that she did thrown about,
Okay.
and sharpened from what extra cast-off metal she could found during her time here.
Sueno-san, I know you've been in the city more than any of us. You've told us about it. Do you think you can find a place for us to get off the streets?
There is a well, I'm sure at one point it was just the way the river came through here from the Lake of Kings, cut through the Pilgrim's Court. It's now almost more of a creek that runs uh, through town, but it's a way for us to get off the streets and to move through the city and hopefully avoid some detection for a while.
It's a start. We've got to bandage ourselves up, but we don't have time.
All right, and with that, Sueno goes ahead and leaves you all to the northeast towards a bit of a dry gully with a small creek running through it, and we will call first scene there. I would say reset to half, except I know both of you are exhausted. But in the meantime, Ricci, gain 3 honor for compassion and 3 glory.
Ooh, I like both of those.
Yeah, again, gain 6 glory and gain 3 glory, 6 glory. Yeah, that is correct. All right. So from here, yeah, it's time for you guys to tell me how you want to try and navigate through the city, trying to go unseen while getting off the street. So, as I've pointed out, there is this creek that meanders through the city. And you can, like I said, get off the streets there and make your way through it. Um, but yeah, what do you guys think, or how might you go about that? Kind of to determine approaches, as it were. So with Sueno, she's going to try and do her best to advocate staying in the gully and the creek, and is going to attempt to try and tell people to go through the survival that way. But I'm also open to kind of going through the city if you want to lose yourself in the streets or another building. That could be skullduggery or government. Uh, could even be there's a couple of different ways you approaches and ways you can go about it. I'm not sure what you guys are thinking along those lines, though.
So I think with me, I'm kind of thinking of going the government route. But I want to use fire because this is brand new. So I kind of want to theorize about like just kind of make the logical conclusion of where this could go.
Think about a place that you could go. Okay, yeah, theorize and try to come up with just what is a place that I could hold up. Okay, I would probably say that would be a TN4 um, fire government check.
Yeah, not likely to succeed, unfortunately.
Mhm.
As I have just recently upped my fire up to 3, but government is still a 2, so it's
Yeah,
possible, just not
it's
likely.
it's totally possible. I'm not sure if anyone else might want to support you on that. Like I said, I know Sueno is advocating for survival to try and stay in the natural environment. Hayate kind of wants to go with uh, her method as well. Again, how about you? What are you thinking?
Well, I not that I'm that good at survival or anything, but I am definitely at this point going along with Sueno because she is, I trust her and I'm exhausted. I really don't think I'm gonna be able to do much on my own. I am compromised and exhausted. So
That is fair. Yes, there's not a whole lot you can do at the moment. All right, so um, Hayate can give unskilled assistance to Sueno. I don't know. Do you have survival? You do have survival, right?
I do not have survival at this time, no. But I can give unskilled assistance.
That's fair. So two unskilled assistants there. So, Ricci, how about you go ahead and do yours, and I'm going to do Sueno's TN3 check here for survival.
Fair enough. So I I had a lot of strife to show up on my dice, but I'm going to choose not to take any of those. Instead, I'll just choose the 1 success and 1 opportunity. And for the opportunity, there's not really much that I'd want to use it for. So I'm just gonna say that I'm very impressive and flashy to anybody watching, which at this point is nobody, because everyone else is actually basically doing the job they're supposed to do.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah, it very much leans to being like, well, if we go over here, then obviously they're gonna have a cistern over here, at which point we can use this thing. But if we go over this way, they might have some animal pens that we could hide in. Wait, why is nobody listening to me?
Sueno is going to spend two opportunities to act stealthily and not draw as much attention to all of you as you could. I mean, really, it's broad daylight. It's four people, some of them armed, scurrying through a creek, trying to keep their heads down while the authorities are all up in arms. You might stand out for people to talk about you and whatnot. So two opportunities to at least try not to look completely out of place, even though she has failed her stealth check here to get you guys to navigate you guys through this bit of the city. But I'm going to spend two other opportunities to use to notice small details and objects, and she is going to notice that uh, one of the grates that leads from the housing block above you uh, to run off their waste and sewage uh, through into the gully or culvert here that you guys are finding yourself in, that someone has been using that what looks like a normally barred gate seems to be used as a passageway that people make use of quite a bit. And so while she might not have got you where she wanted you to go, she kind of motions everyone over and says, "Here, look at this. This will get us off the streets for sure if we go under them." And her and Hayate do their best to figure out which way it swings open and pry it up and leave it open for Gen and Ricci to step inside first.
We're going to go in there.
It is dank. It is smelly. It is awful and just filth, just riddled with it. And Sueno tilts her head and gives you that look with her one good eye of this is not the time to argue or to have your doji sensibilities act up. Now is the time. In fact, she'll probably be like, it's nothing worse than when you found me after the tsunami.
Right.
And head on in.
Yep.
All right. So with that, her and Hayate kind of turn and come in after you and try to reset the grate as best they can. And they're like, "Well, I will admit it's going to be a lot harder for anyone to spot us down here. Although how we're going to know which way we're going and what we're doing in this gloom." He kind of looks down deeper into the tunnel and is like, "I mean, we're not going to be able to see much further once we take a good 20 paces down into this darkness unless we have some other form of light." And Sueno's just like shakes her head at him and just give your eyes a moment to adjust. We don't have to go wandering off and stumbling into walls right now, but give it a bit of time and everyone's eyes should adjust. We're just going to have to get used to walking and prodding forward with our toes to make sure we're not going to trip on something or fall into a hole, and keep our hands out about us and press for walls and keep them up along uh, wherever we travel.
You.
But it's better than being in the open like that.
Yes, we'd best get away from the entrance because I'm sure someone saw us come in.
You guys go in further. I'm gonna stay back here just a few more moments to see if anyone has tracked us down.
Stumble blindly forward in the dark.
Yep.
Yep.
You guys don't need to go, totally down there all the way through. She did say give it a few moments, unless you guys are, you know, wanting to push forward. I'm not sure.
We're not going to push forward far.
Oh, is it sit and wait, or is it move on past the 20 paces? That Hayate says you'll have pretty much no light.
Actually, Richu will want to stop by the 20 paces just to have some light and just say, I know there's a lot of dirty and filthy sorts of energies down here. Let me make sure that our wounds are bound properly.
Okay.
And just make sure that if someone has a cut that hasn't been bandaged, it gets bandaged. And if someone's got a bandage that is a little loose, we tighten it up a little bit.
I like that. Okay. Let's call that a water medicine TN2. It's not overly complicated. It's difficult where you're at, and you can't see as well as you would like to, but it's not a very difficult check, I think, for you to just tighten up bandages and wrap them up tightly.
I will roll the same thing for you because it's hard for somebody to bandage their own wounds. See if I can do it.
Okay, I appreciate it.
All right. So how did your medicine check go, Ricci?
I got 4 successes and 2 opportunities. One opportunity I would like to lower my strife down by 2. And the other opportunity, I want to act more efficiently in this regard, because again, I want to make sure everyone is taken care of. And a bit of a dirtier spot, being a little bit more efficient is much more preferable.
Okay.
And I would like to. I got 1 success and 1 opportunity. I couldn't keep any more because, well, I am compromised. But I did, give it a try. My shortfall wasn't that big. And I have, I used the opportunity to lower my strife by 2.
Excellent. All right. And
All right. So, and the other thing I wanted to say, so I'm fatigued, exhausted, compromised, and I'm assuming that by this point, the damaged constitution that was negated by Hayate is now unnegated. So, as
that
the
is true.
poison, interacts with that, I'm imagining that starts not being very happy.
Becoming, yeah, a lot more likely to key off. Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
just checking.
Yeah, sounds good. I will go ahead and make a note of that whenever you try to physically exert yourself here in the next couple of scenes. All right. Um. So yeah, Ricci, you bind and tighten up everyone's wounds. Again, tries to do the same for you. You know, it's an all right job, but it's you're not sure it's totally up to snuff, but it's you can see it's definitely at least given her some ease, something for kind of almost for her to do as a way of calming herself down and putting herself in a better sense of being able to do something instead of sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything for that. So
You're the
Yeah.
doctor.
Uh, and it's yeah, just a few moments later that uh, Sueno comes padding silently up along uh, the bricks of the sewers here, and it's like, I don't uh, necessarily think the guards have seen us yet. I'm sure that some in the neighborhood more than likely saw us at some point in the creek bed back there. So I don't think anyone's coming here directly, but it's like we've disturbed a hornet's nest out there.
well, that is pretty much what we
Yeah.
did there.
So let's move further in. I think that I can remember our way back if I keep track and keep count. So I'll keep count of paces, and we can get further away.
And turns and all that good stuff. Absolutely, that's one of the things about having an eidetic memory that comes in handy in situations like this. At the very least, you'll be able to, even if most of the intersections and turns look the same, you'll be able to remember the telltale signs of which one was which, and that you made this turn there and that. It's
I'll be counting paces.
there you go. I like that. All right, so now you guys are going to need to skulk about in the sewers. Let's see here. What skill do we think this is? I mean, to get around in a major city, they usually say it's Skulldug and something else. Government, I think. Let's see here. Large cities, commerce or skullduggery. So I will accept either or of those as the easiest skills to get around down here. But I am open to listening to other attacks, if you will.
Skullduggery is, you know, easiest for me, but I would also argue that labor might be a good one because that handles construction. And so that might be a way of understanding how sewers are made.
There's that's not a bad bit. Yeah. Okay. So let's go with yeah, I think that's probably as equal as Skulldug or Commerce in this situation. Yeah. So I will count those all as base difficulty skills to possibly use with this. Anything else anyone else might want to try and use?
I'm here along for the ride.
Fair enough. All right. So in this case, I think Sueno's got a skullduggery of 2, I believe. Yes. I'm not sure if anyone else has a commerce or well, her commerce and her skullduggery are both 2, and her labor is 1. I'm not sure if anyone has anything better than those as skill ranks in this case.
Not better. I've got Skulldug of 2 and Labor of 1 as well.
Of all the skills listed, I finally have a point in commerce. That's all I got, though.
But again, you are still compromised even after that last check.
No, I don't think I am. I think I had just hit compromised.
Okay. So then, um, would you like to make the check?
Sure.
Um, should Sueno make the check? I'm open to whoever we think uh, is uh, best suited to it at the moment. For disclosure, Sueno's at 9 of 12 for composure,
She's got a little bit more composure.
and she's got an air of
Yeah,
3.
I've got the air 4.
You've got the air of 4. She's got a little bit more composure to play with. Um, that said, air is I don't know if you need to necessarily be sneaking down here, as much as you might need to be what is it? Fording new paths and directions, and so fire might be useful for trailblazing, as it were. But air would definitely keep you silent, and people wouldn't necessarily know that you're down here.
Mhm.
But fire might be good to kind of come up with your own trailblazing kind of bits there. There's a couple of good approaches here, I think, for this one. But water and earth are probably out. You've never been under the city, and again, it's hard to see, and so I wouldn't say either of those approaches are all that useful. And this group is not the mystical bent, so I think not giving yourself over to the intuition of void is not necessarily the best bet either. So yeah, who might want to take the fire or air route on this one?
What's the TN to do it in air?
The TN to do it in air or fire, I think, is going to be 3. Because it would be moving silently or trailblazing, and then you're doing it in darkness and in a new environment. It's actually going to be a TN4, either in air or in fire.
Okay. If we do it, I think we should do it in air. And
Unless someone has all arts or one,
There you go.
oddly enough, this would be one of those times where it actually come in handy. But yeah,
I think doing it in air makes most sense. And for this, TN4.
you'll be getting unskilled from Hayate, skilled from Sueno, or Sueno can take the lead and take the assistance from other people.
Let's do that. Let's have
It'll be unskilled
let's
for
have
me.
Suena take the assistance.
So will Sueno take the lead?
Let's have Suena take the lead.
You got it.
She's got a little more strife to spare, so that's what's the qualifier on this one.
All right, so she's gonna try and maneuver you through here quietly and without making much of a commotion. She's gonna do it in air. So she's getting 2 unskilled and 1 skilled, correct? Yeah. Yes. So altogether 3 ring dice, 3 skill dice, and she is keeping 6. So with everyone's assistance and kind of making sure that people are knowing to keep quiet and to keep low, Sueno guides you through the darkness going forward. Everyone's kind of kept together, one hand on the wall, one hand on the person's OB in front of them as you make your way through the sewers here. And she's able to navigate you deeper into the city without getting yourselves hopelessly lost. She's able to spend one opportunity to hopefully cover your tracks, to do this stealthily and subtly. And she's going to use another opportunity to notice something in the scene, a small detail. And it is going to be a source of fresh water, not fetid water. And she's going to kind of follow that trickle of a stream until she brings you all into a place that is well, how to describe it? It is vaulted ceilings with arches on the inside and columns all throughout it, made of brick, and it is like a large pool built underground inside the city here, some sort of water holding or some sort of cistern that seems to be fed from a source of fresh water, whether it's from a spring or beneath it, or from some outside source, or maybe brought in from the lake and kept here. Either way, Sueno uh, kind of sets down some of what she's been carrying off to the side of it, and she kind of tries to make a test of it, but she's like, I think we have fresh water here.
That's a nice change of pace.
Thank the fortunes.
And Hayate just like drops his Yari down next to where she had her stuff, and he pulls out something that he's been working on that Ricci has seen him kind of whittling and working at with his Tonto since you guys have been in the burning sands here, and it is the remnants of his water gourd. It's effectively just the bottom plus a small kind of upturned handle, or kind of one of the higher edges that he's kind of kept with it since it broke in the desert when you guys first found yourselves here, and it is now just effectively a ladle or a small cup made out of the bottom of his broken gourd that he's been kind of refining, whittling, and smoothing the edges of, and he's now like, oh, thank the fortunes indeed. This I was thinking about how I would take this and make it up with kintsurugi, a bit of gold, and maybe some pottery when I got home uh, to celebrate it. But now I don't even care. It's more gorgeous now than ever. And he kind of dips it into the water there, and he takes a huge gulping drink from it, and then dips it again and hands it to Sueno, who takes a drink, and then she hands it back, and he goes uh, to get another drink.
We should have a moment to purify ourselves.
Agreed.
And looks very uncomfortable at being covered with blood as she is, so.
Well, nothing new for us.
All right. I don't think either of you necessarily have cleansing rite as a ritual, but again, nothing in this game says you have to have the thing. It just makes it repeatable and easier. So I can give you some directions on a kind of haphazardly done cleansing rite if you'd like to try and
Yes,
do
please.
that.
Well, we gotta start with washing ourselves.
I think just washing is enough for Ricci at the moment.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You guys are just gonna just go ahead and wash up. You guys get there near the water's edge, and you start to wash your hands. You wash your face. You wash your mouth out, kind of like you're at temple as best you can, and then what again? Were you going to?
Yeah, I need to wash my blade and some of my clothing.
Fair enough. Yeah. You take out your blade, and it's not too terribly bad after you used some of the scarfs of Alfara to clean it. But yes, it definitely needs to be cleansed, and possibly taken all apart, and take the handle off and knock out any of the dust and dirt, grime and blood that's gotten into it. But that's something that'll have to wait for now. Hayate comes back over, and he's like, "Here, let's treat it as if we are." Purifying it with a ladle at the temple, and he takes his gourd cup and ladles water over the end of it several times for you.
She's very grateful. She has not really done this before, ever. She's not in the killing business particularly, and somewhat traumatized, but that's okay.
It's one thing to learn to fight. It's quite another thing to actually be responsible for
Yes.
taking another life.
It was all theoretical before.
Mm-hmm. With your thanks, Hayate kind of gives you uh, a kind of playfully sweet smile that earns nothing but a scornful look from Sueno as he kind of does it, and kind of mentions, "No, don't mention it to Gen-san." And it's when with that, and he's kind of not quite paying attention as he ladles another cup full of water over your blade, when two tiny when two nostrils appear at the edge of the water, and then some ribbed armored eyes blink in the low light. You hardly notice it, but it has noticed the scent of blood in the water, of prey, of those who are distracted by the tranquil placidness of where they're at, of stopping by a watering hole. And like it has been trained to do this over the many thousands and thousands of years that have existed, time has been since the kami have given motive force to the universe. A wani, a crocodile, leaps from the water and grabs Hayate and puts it into a roll and starts to drag him underneath this water of the cistern. I'm Robert, or Bayoshi Shinichi, your host and narrator, thanking you once again for listening. Remember to catch new episodes every Monday. If you want to catch them early or are looking for more bonus content, please consider becoming a supporting member of the Patreon at patreon.com/courtgames.
I am Tyler, and I've been playing Akoto Riichi. You can find me on my personal accounts on Twitter at ChurcherGames or on Twitch, also as ChurcherGames. You can find the show on the web at courtgamespod.com, on social media platforms such as Facebook and Instagram under Fortune and Strife, and on Twitter at L5RFNS. If you would like to contact us, you can email the show at fortuneandstrife@gmail.com.
This is Jeannie, aka Kikita Kaori, and also known as, at least today, Doji Gen. You can find me at my blog at the Winter Garden of the Kikita website, along with helpful materials for the RPG, and also on Twitter at White Veils or on Facebook. If you like, I am also found on the Court Games RPG podcast as a writer for Emerald Legacy, or check out The Table Is Yours for fiction readings of the FFG stories.
This has been Fortune and Strife, a Court Games production in association with D20 Radio Network and the Rokugana Historical Society.
Correctly with the correct amount.
D20 Radio, where gamers roll.
www.d20radio.com